Okay, so for today's topic, we're going to be talking about the trade proposal of KD possibly going to the Boston Celtics. In return, Brooklyn would receive Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, another player, plus draft picks. All right. Now, initially, when this was first reported, I believe it was early Monday morning, I did talk about it briefly on my podcast, which, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to my podcast, please do so. Subscribe to Just My Opinion podcast. Hit the subscription button, the notification bell, so you'll be well aware, well informed when my next episode of Just My Opinion podcast goes down, which is every Monday morning. But anywho, I briefly talked about this yesterday, I believe. No, Monday. Got my days mixed up. And I talked about the trade proposal. Now, I also talked about what Brooklyn wanted and what the Celtics are going to give, what they're willing to give up. Monday morning, they were very gung-ho on not letting go of Marcus Smart, and also not giving up the whole enchilada when it comes to their future round draft picks. Now, here we are Wednesday, and the Boston Celtics are willing to give up anything and everything for Kevin Durant. All right, apparently, good night's sleep makes you see things a whole lot clearer. They're willing to mortgage the future with their draft picks. They're willing to give up Marcus Smart, Marcus Camby, whatever Marcus the Boston Celtics have, they're willing to give up, as well as Jaylen Brown. Now everything is getting to be a little bit crystal clear. I'll be honest with you folks. If we don't see any type of resolution with this trade proposal, if this trade proposal is not official by Friday, I'm suggesting that either Brooklyn pulled out or Boston thought the price was too high and too steep. Now, Jaylen Brown took to social media saying that he's shaking his head. No one is confirming nor denying the conversations between the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics. So let's look at this. If this trade is official and if this trade goes down, you'll have Tatum and Kevin Durant on one side of the equation, which is the Boston Celtics. And then you'll have Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, plus some other pieces. You got Ben Simmons over there, and you still have Kyrie Irving, even though I feel like if this trade is official, Kyrie Irving's future is going to dramatically change with the Brooklyn Nets. It would not surprise me if the Brooklyn Nets tell Kyrie Irving to just stay home until they can work out some type of deal this year as far as trading him to the Los Angeles Lakers, or just sit at home. They're going to John Wall Kyrie Irving. That's just my opinion. But let's look at Kevin Durant, Tatum, and whatever's left over with the Boston Celtics, which they'll have Al Horford, they'll have Gallinari. Okay, they just picked him up, and they signed a true point guard. I feel like, and I said this on my podcast Monday, this elevates the Boston Celtics to either the number 2 or the number 1 team in the NBA. In the Eastern Conference Finals. Okay, I still think the Milwaukee Bucks will have a thing to say about this trade. The 76ers will have a thing or two to say about Kevin Durant going to Beantown with what they have done in the offseason. But this would pole vault the Boston Celtics to either the second or the best team in the Eastern Conference Finals, and I'm going to explain why. One, the versatility that you have with Tatum and Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant can play off the ball. He doesn't necessarily need to touch the ball 30 times a game, okay? He can touch the ball 12 to 15 times a game and be very successful touching the ball with that limit. Tatum, on the other hand, his stock is rising. Now, now if you look at his performance at the NBA Finals when they played against the Golden State Warriors, he was a turnover machine. Plus, his scoring went down just a bit. But having Kevin Durant as your security blanket for Jayson Tatum in the Boston Celtics is going to increase their odds to not only go to the NBA Finals, but to win the NBA Finals. Remember, folks, a lot of people are saying, and a lot of people are under the conclusion that the Golden State Warriors didn't beat the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics beat the Boston Celtics. Okay, so a lot of people still feel like the better team didn't win the championship. Okay, well, the most talented team didn't win the championship, and that's with Brown and Tatum, with Marcus Smart and a bevy of other players for the Boston Celtics. Just imagine Tatum, Kevin Durant. You got Gallinari. You got a traditional point guard. You still have Al Horford, as well as you still will have a solid bench. I think that's enough to jet them into the NBA Finals and win the NBA Finals. If they run it back with the Golden State Warriors, I don't think the Golden State Warriors have anybody on the other side of the equation that can D up or man up Kevin Durant. I'm pretty sure Draymond Green will try, but Draymond Green is past his prime, and they really don't have a lot of tall men that can stay in front of Kevin Durant. And now you have to deal with Tatum. Having Tatum alongside Kevin Durant is only going to enhance Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum is going to have a phenomenal season with Kevin Durant. I feel like he's going to have a phenomenal season even without Kevin Durant, okay? Plus, you have that front office of the Boston Celtics, and the coaching staff is top-notch. This will jet the Boston Celtics to either the best team in the Eastern Conference Finals or the second best team, okay? Yes, even though the Philadelphia 76ers did a lot of things in the offseason that helped their team, they got P.J. Brown. James Harden took a little bit less so they can have enough money to make that roster better. Plus, James Harden is working hard in the offseason to trim a little fat. That too is going to help the Philadelphia 76ers. If you look at the Milwaukee Bucks, everybody's going to be completely healthy. A lot of people are under the impression that the Milwaukee Bucks were suffering with a lot of injuries with their team. Now that team's going to be fully healthy, and a lot of people expect the Milwaukee Bucks to go back into the NBA Finals. So you got the 76ers, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Miami Heat. They still have their squad. They're going to have a thing or two to say about the East. They might be a possibility of a wild card team representing the Eastern Conference Finals. But this will clearly put the Boston Celtics over the top if they can get Kevin Durant. Now, I also feel like another sticking point with the Boston Celtics is their unwillingness to give up and mortgage the farm when it comes to their draft picks. Okay, now Danny Ainge is not there. Danny Ainge is with the Utah Jazz, but I feel like Brad Stevenson is going to say F them picks. He's going to gamble and make a huge splash to get Kevin Durant. If it means that the future is going to suffer a little bit or a lot, hey, it is what it is. And Kevin Durant is one of those type of players. He's a once-in-a-generation player. Not a lot of Kevin Durants fall off the tree. Now, I know a lot of people want to say Tatum is like a Kevin Durant, but he's not Kevin Durant, all right? So this would please Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant wants to get up out of Dodge from the Brooklyn Nets. I feel like the Brooklyn Nets had enough with Kevin Durant, and this makes perfect sense. Now, another thing I have an issue with is teams making trades in the same conference. Okay, that's a huge no-no. A lot of NBA teams frown upon that, look down upon that. But I feel like the Boston Celtics are saying to themselves, we have to improve this roster largely. And we had an opportunity to win the NBA title, and the Golden State Warriors didn't beat us. We beat ourselves. If we would have had just a once-in-a-lifetime generational player on our roster, yes, Tatum has the makings of that, but he is so young, okay? But if they can get a Kevin Durant, that will put them over the top, okay? Now, I talked briefly about the other pieces that are going to be affected if this trade goes down. I feel like Jaylen Brown is going to improve. And you're going to see a version of Jaylen Brown, a 2.0 of Jaylen Brown. Once he has his own team and he is the quintessential scorer of that team, which is the Brooklyn Nets. Ben Simmons is not going to demand the ball a lot, and plus he has pieces around him that can help them. And this will instantly make the Brooklyn Nets a playoff contender. I don't think they're in the top 5, but they will be a playoff contender. And with those draft picks, you can build on top of what you already have with Ben Simmons and Jaylen Brown, or just mortgage them picks and just get one more player to get you over the top, okay? But they're still going into the playoffs, okay? Like it or not, love it or hate it. Marcus Smart is going to really improve himself by getting under the shadows of Tatum and showing the world what he has to prove, okay? But everybody is going to win in this trade. The Boston Celtics, the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart. I feel like the one loser, if this is official, is the fact that Kyrie Irving is going to struggle with this, because if Kevin Durant get traded to the Boston Celtics, and these two guys are talking about they want to play with each other on another team, that's not going to happen. I don't think the Boston Celtics are going to welcome Kyrie Irving with open arms. Plus, they already have a point guard there, so there's really no need to add a Kyrie Irving. They already have scoring there, so there's really no need to add a Kyrie Irving. And I feel like Kyrie Irving is going to be the biggest loser. Kyrie Irving is probably going to be John Wall by the Boston Celtics until they get a trade orchestrated by the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, that trade could be official if LeBron James goes into the front office of the Los Angeles Lakers and tell Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka, okay, look, you guys are pressuring me to sign an extension. If he give them insurances that he will sign the extension now or after the season, then they will, if the Brooklyn Nets want those 2 draft picks that the Los Angeles Lakers have, will bump them picks. That's what Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka are going to say. We'll bump those 2 picks. Give them to the Brooklyn Nets, all right? If the Brooklyn Nets are going to try to swindle us and con us on an injured player that has 2 years remaining, we'll bump that. We'll take that, all right? I don't think they're interested in Russell Westbrook. I think the Russell Westbrook angle will be Russell Westbrook will have no influence on this trade because Brooklyn doesn't want Russell Westbrook, but the Lakers want Kyrie Irving. So in order to make that happen, you're going to have to compensate Kyrie Irving's salary with other salaries and draft picks that the Los Angeles Lakers can put together to make this trade official without including Russell Westbrook. Good luck on Chuck with that, all right? But Kyrie Irving is going to be the odd man out, and Kyrie Irving is going to suffer if Kevin Durant goes to the Boston Celtics. Now, I have always told you guys, and I've been steadfast telling you guys, ultimately, I feel like Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant is going to run it back with the Brooklyn Nets, see what they have at their disposal with a Ben Simmons. They have never played alongside Ben Simmons. They got some other intriguing pieces in the offseason. See how that works out. You still have Seth Curry, not Steph Curry, but Seth Curry. Not Chef Curry, but Seth Curry. You still have him. They probably would run it back if they want to play among each other. I still feel like ultimately Kevin Durant's going to stay with the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie Irving, and you're going to get the best version of Kyrie Irving because Kyrie Irving is fighting for his playing career life because he's going to have to show other teams, including the Brooklyn Nets, that he's worthy of a max contract. Okay, and even if he doesn't get it with the Brooklyn Nets, you want to be in good standings with the Brooklyn Nets because maybe the Brooklyn Nets will do you a solid, do you a favor, do a sign and trade. Well, they'll give you the max contract knowing that they're going to trade you to another team that will welcome you with open arms. Kyrie Irving got a lot of things that he has to fix on the past of his behavior, his actions, what he has said. He's got a lot of explaining to do and to sort of clear the air. But yeah, that's all I got, folks. This has been a phenomenal video. I gave you gems in this video. We talked about several things in this video. Please feel free to hit the subscription button, the notification bell. Share this content with your friends, family, and followers. And be on the lookout for the next episode of Just My Opinion Podcast Season 2. It'll be up and running Tuesday morning. All right? Tuesday morning is when we begin. All right? New season, new time, a new day. All right? It's your boy, the host with the most. I'm up out of here. Deuces.